Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Game Prodigy and today we're talking tips for new players in the game Enlisted. Did you just start? Do you want to suck less? This is the video for you. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, how can you impact a game when you're fairly low level? And I'm going to give you two really big pointers and a bunch more, but the first one is the importance of spawn points. So once you have the engineer unlocked, we're going to pretend like this is a game we just started. You start off from a spawn point way over here. You want to get up close enough to your objective, and then you want to press the 2 button as an engineer, and that's going to unlock the hammer, and then you right click. And that's going to open up a menu of all the different things you can build. And while all these are great, grand, and wonderful, this is the most important button in the game. It is a rally point or a forward operating base. You want to place one. And lots of mistakes are made by people when they do this. The number one mistake they make is they put it in the wrong direction. The direction your back is facing is going to be the direction that your team is going to spawn. So if the objective is in front of me, I want to turn around and I want to place my back in the direction that it's facing. The second biggest mistake people make is they put it in attics. They try and put it in clever places, or they'll place it down and they'll place sandbags right in front of it. And what that does is it takes all of your AI and it gets them stuck. Don't put it in attics. Don't put a sandbag right in front of it. You want to put it in a nice, secure place, so places that they're not going to be able to destroy, but it needs to be close enough. So there's a balance. You want to put it close enough that your enemy can spawn faster and get to the objectives faster than the enemy can do it. Overwhelming numbers win this game, but you want to also put it someplace that's not going to be instantly heard. So about 50 meters away, you're going to place it down. When you finally decide to place it, remember, back towards where you wanted to go, and you're just going to hold down left click and you're going to hammer them in. The next thing that people, so I often see people ignoring these. So there's a ton of power in your ability to spawn close and get your team to spawn close. Well, the enemy team has the same thing, and the question always is, if you walk up to it, it says destroy structure. It's, oh no, is this my rally point or is it the enemy's rally point? And right now, with the current changes in the game, you cannot destroy a rally point your teammates have placed, with the exception of with dynamite. But you can't go up and press J to destroy it. What you can do, and you're listening for the beeps, because that gives away that there's a rally point, is you want to look at this helmet. And right now, if it's got the little diamond helmet or the spade helmet on it, it's allies. If it has a German helmet on it, it's German. If you're playing as allies, you want to destroy those. There's two ways you can destroy them. You hold down J, and that will destroy them. Or you can fire a bunch of bullets into it or put explosives on it, and that will also destroy it. You want to get rid of enemy spawn points. You want your team to have spawn points. Now, you can only place one at a time. So make sure that your spawn point matters and be looking to see if your spawn point has been destroyed. You're allowed to equip different types of soldiers to your squads as you evolve. Right now I have my engineering squad, but if we change our squads, you can see I have an engineer in my assault squad. So even if I can't spawn on my engineering squad, I can go and I can get to my engineer or my engineer on my assault squad. And again, I don't have all the extra fancy options, but I always have this rally point, and placing it down is probably the singular most important thing you can do to win more games, especially even at low level. The next most important thing, and the thing people do not really do, is use the mark button. And what the mark button is wherever you're looking, if you press V, it will put down this little icon. And you could place up to 3 of them. If you go to the same spot, it removes your mark, but you can place 3. And what you use these marks to do is to identify to your team, there's a large concentration of troops here, or there's a tank here. If it's a tank and there's no tank on here, it will form a separate, distinct, tanky-looking icon. If it's moving the tank, you want to mark the direction, the tank, and then the direction it's going so your team knows, oh no, there's a tank coming over here. What this does. Why do you mark? Okay, I'll tell you why. Number one is it tells all of your troops you need to be looking here in that direction. If you look, they're going to be keeping their eyeballs towards my marks, right? Even though they're running in the field like suicidal maniacs. Number two, it lets your team, it warns your team, hey, there's people over here, be careful. Hey, there's a tank, don't run your guys in here. If a tank is marked and you're spawning, you can say, hey, I may need to be bringing anti-tank guys, or we need a tank here to be able to counter this, or you have aircraft, and at higher levels, these aircraft can take out these tanks. And so it's all about team communication. It's all about getting the right information to people. What you don't want to do is say, hey, there's one guy here. You want to say, hey, there's a whole group of people out here, and they're right about there. And if you put all three down, that indicates, hey, there's a big group of people there. And so your planes are going to try and bomb it there. If you give bad information and there's nothing there and they come in and bomb it, they're going to be upset. So make sure that you try your best to mark it and always have that finger near the V key. The V key is so very important. Next tip I can give you. We're going to pretend like this right here is the cap. This little step, right? On the ground of a cap, of an objective, is a big green circle. And anywhere in that green circle that you are in will contest that cap. One of the biggest mistakes I see brand new players doing is, let's say the circle goes all the way here. And this is going to be the inside of a building. This will be a door, all right? Is they go, cap, and they go running in, and there's a whole enemy squad waiting, and boom, you're dead. When the better thing to do is to stand outside, and you can actually make your troops by looking at a place and pressing X. You can make your troops come over here and stay here, and as long as you're in the outside, you're contesting it. And there's a ton of times, especially if the enemy has been moving around their squad, most of their squad has been shot off. There's only one or two of them in that cap, but they're entrenched in, and you can actually cap something just by having superior numbers. And look how many guys I was able to put right here with just a button. So I have 7 people, and we're going to cap this. Once you've capped it, then you can run in like a moron and shoot them and potentially lose some guys and die. But if you go in and you lose a few, now all of a sudden you can't cap. So there's lots of times in Normandy and D-Day, they're in the bunker. It's almost impossible to get them out. Well, guess what? You don't need to get them out. You can win that objective by just being on the outside. So huge tip. You do not need to run into the buildings to cap objectives. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty. It's time to shoot some people. Well, if I want to... If these targets are my enemies, I don't want to be in a standing one-on-one gunfight with these people. I'm open, I'm exposed, they're open, they're exposed. It's bad news all around. You want cover. Cover's your friend, okay? What you don't want, and I see this happen all the time, especially with brand new players, is they treat this like if their guy gets shot, it's them personally dying, and they start off at the spawn and they press Z and they're crawling. And they're just, 15 minutes worth of crawling to get into a position where they're going to be shot by one person. And then they're going to repeat the process because they think staying alive is super important, and it is. But you can do the same thing by running down here. You're safe, you're safe, you're safe. There's no threat of the enemy. And now you're in cover, you're in a firing position. It's great. You still don't want to just stand here and shoot at them. You want to get into a position where when you're firing, you can fire, and when you're not, when you have to reload, or that's when you're using Z. I need to reload. Okay, great.
I need cover. Reloading.
I'm reloading, then I pop back out, and I'm good. And you can further extend your advantage by leaning, and the lean button is Q and E. And it may not seem like a lot, but if you're on the corner, can't see, can see. Can't see, can see. So, there we go. And maybe leaning's a little too much there. This is a good firing position. Okay, Q and E, leaning, saves you from being exposed most of the time, allows you to shoot, you know, when you have the ability to shoot, when you have the ammo to shoot. I'm a little OCD about reloading. I like to have ammo in my gun all the time. If you watch me play, you'll see me do it. You don't necessarily do it, but especially when you switch to a new guy, check how much ammunition they have in the chamber, because more often than not, the AI is notorious for having 1 or 2 bullets left in the chamber, and you get into a fight and you miss that first shot, and then all of a sudden you're reloading and you get murdered. Okay, for shooting, once we've leaned and we have our cover, okay, if they're close up, you're going to hit them. Great. But what if they're further away? The best way of ensuring that your shots are more accurate, oh, hold on, wrong button, is to hold down the shift key. And listen, you'll hear this. There. You can't do it right away. There it is again. It will make the camera go in just a little bit, and it'll make your shot more accurate. Get in the habit of holding your pinky on that shift key. And I by habit, even if it's a closer range shot, will do that. Hold down shift. You don't just do it for snipers. But it's only for longer range shots, right? You don't, if you come in and you see an enemy right in front of you, you don't have a ton of time. You can't go, okay, he sees me, I see him, his gun's drawn. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to press E to lean. I'm dead at this point in time. So the next tip I have for you is you can hip fire. And look at that. You'll get a sense of where the bullets are going to go, but you can get away. It's not as accurate, but sometimes firing first and firing faster is going to keep you alive. Yeah, and you can see I hip fired and I basically went all over the target, but I hit him. And that's sometimes the difference between life and death. But let's say all hell is broken loose. I've hip fired. I've missed wildly. And he's still coming at me, right? Well, you have a knife, and if you press 4, and on some it may not be 4, but 4 is the default, you can bring out your knife, and the knife is super powerful, especially if you're low on ammo. But let's say you've shot, you're out of ammo, or you're really low on ammo, and he's coming at you, and you don't have enough time to grab that knife. Middle mouse button, boom, melee. Most people don't know about middle mouse button. It will stun them. If you hit them multiple times, it'll kill them. But middle mouse button melee will save your life. So, let's say you've run out of ammo. This is the next biggest question I always get. How do you get more ammunition? Well, there's lots of ways to get more ammunition. The first, if you're an engineer, okay, one of the other things you can build is an ammunition box, okay? And luckily for me, there's one built here already. Once it's built, all you do is you go up, you press F to refill your ammo, you're good to go. If you look on the mini-map, you'll see the little, you'll see the little white box. That represents an ammo chest, and when anyone on your team places them down, you'll be able to see them on the mini-map. Other things you can do, if you hold down Alt, you'll see this request ammo if you have members on your team who are alive and who have the same type of weapon that you do. And you hold down Alt, press request ammo, guy comes, gives me ammo. And you can request it every X amount of seconds. Notice you only get one clip. So I went from 0 to 30, and it's not going to let me request more ammo for an amount of time. So we're going to go and we're going to refill it here. Other ways you can get ammo, okay? These are a little bit more difficult. In the course of battle, if you came and you shot and killed someone, you can look at them, and you have to be about this far away. and press F to pick up their weapon. It will put their weapon into the second slot. You get basically about a clip worth of ammo from them. But if you go against, you kill a higher level player and they have a machine gun, pick that machine gun up, use it. It's a great way. Yeah. It's a great way to get weapons and try out weapons that you may not have and get more ammo. And once you're through that clip, kill someone else, pick up their weapon, move on. Other more complicated ways to get more ammo. So if you know an assaulter, for example, is going to go through his machine gun like crazy, you can actually get pouches on the actual person in the game menu early on that allows them to hold more ammo. Also a way. But ammo boxes, number 1, requesting ammo from your team, number 2, picking up different guns from fallen people, number 3. That's how you get more ammo. Okay. What this game, one of the core components of this game is picking the right squad for the right situation. Okay. So if you did your job and you marked targets, and let's say there's 2 tanks out there, and you've just died, or even if you haven't just, so if you look at my squad right now, I have 4 assaulters. They're on the left, and then a gunner, and then a bomber, which is anti-tank, and an engineer. So let's say there's a tank. I'm on my engineer right now. The only thing my engineer can do to kill the tank is maybe throw a grenade or build. I don't know. This guy can't build it because he's not in the main engineering. So he can't do much. Okay. My assaulters, the only thing they can do against a tank is throw grenades. And I'm going to teach you a secret with grenades. I watch this happen all the time. People go, oh no, there's something I have to kill. And they throw their grenades and look, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Boom. Now it blows up. Guess how much time you gave the enemy to move. Okay? Little tip for this. So for TNT, you're going to hold it and you're going to count to 5. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. And now when you throw it, boom. They have no time to react. That's how you kill tanks. It's how you kill large amounts of infantry that are together. But it's all about picking the right unit for the right situation. So let's say there is a tank. Okay, I have a anti-tank guy on my squad. He's the 6th guy, and to get to him, I'm going to press Y until his icon is highlighted. And look, now I'm on him, and I can press 2 to get to his anti-tank weapon, and guess what? Right guy, right situation, and I could even lean, although I don't recommend it with this weapon. And then once the tank is dead, I don't want to be walking around with my guy. Other tip, side tip for your engineer, if you have the hammer on and you switch, okay, this guy is going to be, let's find him. Look at that, look. He's running around with a hammer. He's not really helping you. So before you switch them off, you want to make sure that you give them the weapon. Same thing with my anti-tank guy. If I switched him off with this gun in and I go back to him, guess what? He's still holding it. So make sure before you switch him off, you give him the weapon. But you want to press Y in order to switch to the right guy. Okay? That seems like that's what the Y button is for, but the Y button is way more powerful than that. Let's say you're in an engagement with the enemy. Okay? We're going to pretend like, oh, the targets have disappeared. Good to know. Let's say these 3 guys are my enemy. If I shoot at them with my first guy and they hit me and knock me down, okay? You have 8 seconds worth of pressing T before he can come back and he can shoot. In that 8 seconds, these 3 guys are wiping out your entire squad. So what do? The moment he gets knocked down, I'm pressing Y. And I'm switching to the next. I have the next guy who's immediately able to start firing. Let's say he gets shot down. Okay? Y again. Next guy. It allows you to get more bullets downrange at your enemies instead of sitting there pressing T, waiting for that one guy to heal. You never ever want to be sitting on a guy healing while you have someone else on your squad that is able to shoot. Okay? And if you switch to a guy and he is healing already, you see the circle going, you don't press anything because that interrupts the process. The computer will do it automatically for you. You want it automatically healing while you're playing another guy who's already shooting the guns. Last tip, and we got to go to the main menu for this. I have a whole video on this, but what do you spend your points on when you finally do get upgrades? The answer is simple. Squad updates first, specifically increasing your squad size. The more soldiers you have on your team, the more people that you're going to have available if something happens to one of your guys, the more guns you're going to be able to have against the net. So if they have 3 and you have 7, even if they may be better than you, you're eventually going to win that engagement. That does it for this. I hope these tips help you. Remember, the most important ones are engineers putting down rally points and pressing V to mark targets. If you do that even as low level, you're going to see yourself win more. If you want to see more live gameplay, check me out, Twitch TV/Game Prodigy. That's it for now. As always, until next time, keep making bad decisions. I will see you later. Adios.